Coming up next on the season premiere of Hooten's Arkansas football. A look ahead to the 2002 high school season. Classification by classification. Who will win Class 2A now that Shiloh Christian has moved up? Can anyone in Class 3A catch defending champion Warren? Will Stuttgart make it back to Little Rock and win it all? And can tradition-rich Springdale capture Class 5A and Coach Gus Malzahn's second season at the school? A preview of those teams and many more from around the state. It's all in the next 30 minutes on Hooten's Arkansas football.
Let's take it to him. This is our time of the year.
Hello and welcome to Hooten's Arkansas football. I'm Chad Hooten, and this is the first of 18 shows that will air this fall on high school football. And believe it or not, the season's not too far away. In just 16 days, the high school football season will kick off in grand style at War Memorial Stadium on Labor Day. 6 teams have agreed to move their season up 4 days. So on Monday, September the 2nd, Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium, this is the lineup. It'll be Pulaski Academy against Benton at 11 a.m. Then it's Bryant against Shiloh Christian and Springdale against Warren. Should be 3 great games to kick off the high school football season in the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic, and tickets are on sale now from the participating schools. Now tonight on the season premiere of Hooten's Arkansas football, we'll preview those teams and many more, and we'll get started with Class 2A. The schools are a little bit smaller, but those guys play with a lot of heart. The one thing you could count on in AA football the past 5 seasons was for Shiloh Christian to play for the state championship. And that's why 2002 is so intriguing. Shiloh has moved up to Class 3A, leaving the field open for 2 new teams to land in Little Rock. Hooten's frontrunner is another private school, Harding Academy, led by All-State quarterback Caleb Keys. Keys passed for 3,400 yards and 31 touchdowns last year, using a fleet of tall receivers like All-Stater Heath Adams. Keys also is a physical runner, and the Harding defense should be its best in years too. But before the Wildcats can win the state title, they must survive the biggest, baddest league in 2A. The 6AA boasts 6 top 20 teams, including 2001 state runner-up and our preseason number 3 team, Augusta. All-state fullback Antonio Gant and running mate James Turner both rushed for close to 1,600 yards and 17 touchdowns last year. Rising is our preseason number 4 team. The Wildcats captured the state championship in 2000, and more than 30 Wildcats are heavy favorites to roll through the new 8AA conference.
You know, it's going to be some new teams, be some new rivalries developing. I know there's a lot of talent down there, don't know a whole lot about them. The way our schedule was with those 4 in a row, Junction City, Smackover, Hampton, Harmon Grove, emotionally it took its toll. So just the change of schedule will help us as far as, you know, All-Timer, Dermot. I think both of them are going to be tough, but they'll be spread out a little bit. So, you know, we kind of peak for those games.
The Charleston Tigers start the year at number 5, and they're also on the move, shifting from the 4 to the 1 AAA, where the Tigers should capture their 11th league title in 15 years. Quarterback Doc Crowley is one of the best in the state in any classification. The senior completed 60% of his passes last year for 21 touchdowns with just 4 interceptions. Charleston's move leaves up-and-coming Danville as the team to beat in the 4AA. Danville is led by 3-year starting quarterback Joseph Short and some not-so-little Johns up front.
Albert Villadrosa, he'll be a 3-year starter to offensive tackle. 2-way player. He's the strongest kid we have on the team, and you know, he look for a lot of things from him. He's about 275 pounds.
If Danville should slip, Hector, under new coach Brian Rust, or Arkansas Baptist could grab the 4AA title.
We've got a new conference with a lot of the Little Rock public school, private schools in it, and we expect good things. We're real optimistic. I think we've got a good chance to be competitive. We're going to compete with some tough teams, Hector and Danville, that have a little bit of tradition, but we're looking forward to meeting them and seeing how we stack up.
And here is Hooten's Arkansas football Class 2A preseason rankings. Finally, with Shiloh Christian out of the way, Harding Academy starts the year at number 1. But don't forget, it was Danville and Camden, Harmon, and Grove that left Searcy with playoff victories the past 2 years. Junction City checks in at number 2. We'll have more on the talented Dragons next week. Augusta has a new coach. We'll see if they have the same results. Rison is at number 4, and there's Charleston. Barton starts the second 5. This could be Frank McClellan's final season with the Bears. Then it's Hampton and Danville. Hughes drops down from Class 3A to AA, and Gurdon rounds out the top 10. Carlisle is at number 11. Coach James Clayton says this is his farewell tour. Mark Tree's number 12, then it's Mineral Springs and Hazen, the number 14 team in the state, but the Hornets may not even make the playoff field of 32 teams because the Hornets are in a nest called the 6AA. Murfreesboro's number 15, the Buckaroos are 16, then it's Jessieville, Hooten's surprise pick to win the 5AA. Look out for Jessieville. Then it's Desark, Salem, and Bauxite, who was picked by the coaches to win that 5AA. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. A preview of Class 3A is next.
Football fans, your wait is over. The 2002 high school season kicks off in grand fashion on Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium in the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic. Catch the triple header with pass-happy Pulaski Academy taking on Big Bad Benton. Then tradition-rich Shiloh Christian steps up against Bryant. And defending state champ Warren takes on 5A superpowers Springdale. Get your tickets at participating schools. The first 3 real games of the season. It's the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic. Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium.
And we'll begin our Class 3A preview with defending state champion Warren. The Lumberjacks were the only team in Arkansas to go undefeated last year, and Arkansas coach Houston Nutt has already offered scholarships to 3 of Warren's returning starters, including All-American Brett Smith, the state's top recruit. Hog fans will get a chance to see number 1 Warren in Little Rock when the Lumberjacks square off against Class 5A giant Springdale in the first real game of the season. It's the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic at War Memorial.
It's just a great honor to be playing the Hootens Kickoff Classic, and we just hope we can compete with Springdale. They're a big 5A power. You hear all the time on Hootens how the 5A West is dominant, and we're gonna show up. I can promise you we're gonna be there about 4 o'clock at kickoff. We'll be there.
The tradition-rich Boonville Bearcats almost beat Warren in the state title game last year, but the Bearcats must find successors for 4 graduated players in the backfield who combined to rush for a mind-boggling 4,683 yards last year. Look for a stifling defense led by senior linebacker Kyle Arnold to carry Boonville far this season. The Pulaski Academy Bruins won 11 games last year, but must find successors for the graduated All-State duo of quarterback Thomas Thrash and receiver Quentin Jones. 6'4" junior Adam Thrash has skills and inherits the spot vacated by his older brother at QB. Senior receiver Blake Miller has 4.4 speed and caught 100 passes a year ago. On defense, Pulaski Academy's defensive line was hit hard by graduation, but the linebackers and secondary should be some of the best around, led by junior all-conference linebacker Matt Stoltz.
We got a real good group coming back. We graduated 10 seniors who all contributed, so there's going to be some big shoes to fill. But we feel like that we've got an outstanding senior class and then an outstanding junior class who are really going to step up and contribute. It's their time to step up and be the leaders. And they've had some good spring times, and they did a good job at Combine at Alltel, and they've just done a tremendous job. So it's their time to step up and be our players this year.
Of course, one of the most intriguing teams in Class 3A this year should be Shiloh Christian. After playing in 5 straight Class 2A state championship games, the Saints move up to AAA. National record-setting quarterback Rhett Lashley has graduated, and just 6 starters are back. But in 7-on-7 competition, the Saints came on strong late this summer. The Star City Bulldogs finished 4th in the 8 AAA last year, but advanced all the way to the state quarterfinals. With scholar athlete Andy Eklund at quarterback and Randy Williams returning at running back, Star City's ground-oriented attack should wear down opponents this fall. And here is Hooten's Arkansas football Class 3A rankings. The Lumberjacks are on top and Boonville's number 2. That's exactly where those teams finished last year. Osceola drops down from Class 4A, and the Seminoles should be tough to handle in Class 3A. Then it's the Hillbillies, Pulaski Academy. The Scrappers are at number 6, followed by Ashdown, Newport, Shiloh Christian, and Star City. The Sand Lizards start the second 10. Then it's Gosnell, Dumas, Hamburg, and Rivercrest. The Queen is at number 16. Then it's Pocahontas, Truman, Farmington, and Pulaski Oak Grove at number 20.
Now the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Star City quarterback Andy Eklund can beat you in many ways. His favorite, on the ground, where he leads the Bulldogs' option attack with 4.4 speed. But college recruiters are just as pleased to hear about his numbers in the classroom, where Eklund holds down a 3.8 GPA and has already scored a 28 on his ACT.
I make sure I get on my work in, try to keep good grades. Because, you got to be eligible to play football, so if you're not eligible, you're not going to play.
It's as simple as that. Congrats to Andy Eklund, the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and congratulations to Andy, our Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week. The Star City Bulldogs will open their season on Friday night, September the 6th, against the England Lions. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, a preview of Class 4A next.
Faulkner County football fans, the biggest game of the year is set for the second week of the season when rival neighbors Greenbrier and Vilonia battled for the First Service Bank Judges Cup. A year ago, Vilonia claimed the cup with a 21-13 victory. But this year, the Panthers want revenge and to take the cup back to the Briar Patch. It's the biggest game of the year in Faulkner County, Greenbrier at Vilonia. The second week of the season, the Judges Cup is presented by First Service Bank. Off football, brought to you by Sonic.
And we begin our Class 4A preview in Arkansas County, where the Stuttgart Ricebirds won 10 games last year and came within 2 points of winning their first state title in 20 years. This fall, athletic Freddie Dancy moves from receiver to quarterback and succeeds Chris Lammers, who signs with Washita Baptist. On defense, second-year coach Bobby Bolding's bunch should be salty. The defense will be led by a couple of big boys up front. Brett Helms, who tips the scales at 275 pounds, and Donnell Horner, who has good speed despite weighing a sausage pizza over 300. The Greenwood Bulldogs averaged 31 points per game last year, and senior standouts Kirby Vitale and Matt Johnson return at quarterback and tailback respectively. Vitale is a college prospect. He passed for more than 3,000 yards and 29 touchdowns last year. Coaches in the 4A Southwest believe the Hope Bobcats are in line to capture their third straight conference title. Of course, Hope hasn't lost a league game in the past 2 years. And senior quarterback Brock McCorkle has the leadership qualities to direct another perfect conference mark.
The expectations are high simply because the Bobcats haven't lost a conference game in 2 years. Coach Kevin Stamp has turned this program completely around. They're the team, maybe not the most talented team in the conference this year. A lot of people are looking at Pulaski Robinson, Magnolia, but the Bobcats have a program that is long on desire. They've really got things going as far as their intensity, playing each game, coming out, playing their hearts out. The key guy on offense, you have to start with the quarterback, Brock McCorkle. Brock is a returning all-conference player. He's not a flashy passer. He's not a flashy runner. He's just a kid that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, a great leader on the offensive side of the ball. They have another young man, Martez Floyd, that will get the bulk of the running duties this year. He'll be replacing the great back, D.D. Holyfield. And Martez got a lot of playing time last year. He has great quickness. We're looking for big things from Martez.
Hope's biggest hurdle in the conference this year could be Pulaski Robinson. The Senators returned 17 starters from a team that won 8 games last year. All-conference running back Gary Anderson Jr. and left tackle Nathaniel Garner were both offered scholarships in the spring by the University of Arkansas. A dark horse team in Class 4A could be the Batesville Pioneers. Coach Dave King has slowly integrated a passing attack that could create havoc, especially this fall in a weaker 4A East conference.
We've been in the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years, but really it's kind of disappointing that we just can't get that playoff win. The first year or two, our kids were real happy just to be there, but it seemed like we've played some good halves, but just hadn't been able to put a game together, and we're going to really focus on that, and if we're going to get over the next hump, which is winning a playoff game, we're going to have to really focus on being a little mentally tougher, I guess, when it comes to playoff time. Defensively, probably build the defense around Lonnie Clark. He's a return All-State player, played defensive tackle for us last year. And 20 years as a head coach, it's the first year I think that I've had a defensive lineman be the leading tackler. So Lonnie's real active. We can put him in the inside linebacker position. I think he'll be a great defensive player for us there.
A pair of Pulaski County teams dropped from Class 5A to the 4A Southeast this fall. Mills won 6 games and advanced to the playoffs a year ago behind the running of Farad Jackson. The University of Arkansas has offered scholarships to both Jackson and Comet lineman Marcus Harrison. Sylvan Hills also drops down in classification, and strong-armed senior quarterback Colby Sanders hopes to lead the Bears to the playoffs. And here is a look at Hooten's Arkansas football Class 4A rankings. Stuttgart made it to War Memorial Stadium last year, and we expect a return trip from the Rice Birds this December. Greenwood won it all a couple of years ago. We think the Bulldogs could make it back to the Rock as well. Magnolia is a bit of a surprise at number 3. The coaches didn't even vote Magnolia to win its conference. Mills is at number 4, and there's Pulaski Robinson. Wynn won it all last year, and the Yellow Jackets start the second 5. Then it's the Airedales, Hope, Batesville, and Sylvan Hills. The Golden Goblins start the second 10. They're followed by Crosset, Monticello, Morrilton, and Clarksville. West Helena 16. Then it's Arkadelphia, Greene County Tech, Hot Springs, and Little Rock Fair.
Now, the sports medicine tip of the week from Mark, brought to you by First Security Bank.
And we begin our Class 5A preview with our preseason favorite, Springdale. The Bulldogs advanced to the playoffs last year despite returning just 2 starters. This fall, 9 regulars are back, including 6 on defense. And the offense, it averaged 30 points per game last year and should be even better in its second season under Coach Gus Malzahn.
You know, we feel like we'll have a decent defense. Offensively, it just depends on, you know, how quick we progress. It's tough. We're playing 3 defending state champions. So open up with Warren. They've got as much talent as anybody that has, since people have been running the spread offense.
Springdale is Hooten's pick to win it all, but coaches say Russellville is the team to beat in the 5A West. But what do the coaches know? Last summer, they voted the Cyclones to finish dead last in the league, and they won it, sweeping the conference. Cyclone quarterback Landon Leach and touchdown Tracy Steiger return. Leach completed close to 60% of his passes last year for 3,200 yards. Steiger was All-State as a sophomore last season when he scored 15 TDs. Hooten's Arkansas football expects West Memphis to dethrone Cabot in the East Conference. Sorry, Cabot, but we think West Memphis could win it all. Second-year coach Lanny Dowks' team lost by just 1 point at Texarkana in the second round of the playoffs last season. Speaking of Texarkana, the Razorbacks might be Class 5A's most talented team this year. The Porkers are loaded with imposing linemen, speedy skill players, and a solid kicking game. Another top 10 team should be Bryant. After advancing to the playoffs a year ago as a member of the 5A South, the Hornets moved this fall into perhaps the state's weakest league, the 5A Central Conference. Senior quarterback Lance Parker is being recruited heavily by Vanderbilt and is poised to break all of Bryant's passing records.
I'm not the kind of person that's satisfied with where I'm at, and I just, you know, the main thing is my team winning, and I'd take 500 yards passing if I knew we could win 10 games, so it's not really that much concerned about passing stats.
Bryant's biggest rival is Benton, and both the Hornets and the Panthers will open their seasons 4 days earlier than other schools in the state at the alltellhootens.com Kickoff Classic on Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium. Benton will play pass-happy Pulaski Academy, and the Panthers are expected to do more passing this season too. Senior quarterback Brian Greer leads 10 returning offensive starters at Benton.
We're very optimistic. We have a starting quarterback that's back, and that's always great. We have a kicking game that hopefully I think will be second to none. We spend a tremendous amount of time in the kicking game working on the intangibles there, and I think we probably have the best kicker and punter tandem duo in the state. Jared Little being recruited by most every major college in the United States right now.
So Spring number 1 and West Memphis at number 2. Then it's Fort Smith Southside, the Razorbacks, and Russellville. El Dorado made it to Little Rock last year. The Wildcats start the second 5. They're followed by Cabot, Bryant, Conway, and Fort Smith Northside. A sleeper team to watch is Fayetteville. The Purple Dogs look dangerous. Then it's Searcy, Pine Bluff, Rogers, and Jacksonville. Little Rock McClellan's number 16. They're followed by last year's state champions, Bentonville. Then it's the Pointers in Little Rock Central and Mark Jones's Benton Panthers at number 20.
Now, the Arkansas Department of Higher Education's Spirit Student of the Week.
Oh, you better watch it.
A strong sense of family drives Amanda Burris to succeed.
Well, this kid's not just my kid, this is my best friend.
The bond between Amanda and her mother helps the Atkins senior deal with the everyday rigors of being in high school.
My kid, I get to brag, she's not in trouble, she's a good student. People in this town know who she is, but it's because she's earned that reputation of not being a troubled kid.
It's that reputation that helped Amanda succeed in band, athletics, and even on the runway.
Miss Atkins was a great big surprise for me, actually. I was standing there just almost in tears when they called my name. I was so surprised.
Catch Amanda if you can. On the field and off, she excels in her academics and her activities.
Well, the band, we're really spirited. I mean, we get up there and if we're not playing, we're all standing up screaming and hollering for the football team.
But Amanda's school spirit isn't limited to football games.
My grades are very important.
Amanda knows the importance of keeping her grades in good standing.
Well, my academics definitely come first, because if I don't have my academics up, then I can't do the other things that I enjoy. And so I always study first, and then I find time to do other things.
On behalf of the State Department of Higher Education, congratulations to our Spirit Scholars. And to all students, keep that grade point up. We've got some scholarships waiting on you.
The wait is over. The 2002 high school season kicks off in grand fashion on Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium in the all-tell-Hootens.com Kickoff Classic. Catch the triple header with pass-happy Pulaski Academy taking on Big Bad Benton. Then tradition-rich Shiloh Christian steps up against Bryant. And defending state champ Warren takes on 5A superpowers Springdale. Get your tickets at participating schools. The first 3 real games of the season. It's the all-tell-Hootens.com Kickoff Classic. Labor Day at War Memorial Stadium.
Thanks for watching Hooten's Arkansas football tonight. Look for us again next Saturday night at the same time for our second of 3 preseason shows, and we'll see you then on Hooten's Arkansas football.
Let's take it to him.
You stuck it to him and you won it.
This is our time of the year.